To start with, you want to get rid of all the oil. You can't do anything with oil in it. It's messy, so you need to get rid of the oil. It has a drain plug in the side. You can drain it any time, but it's usually best if you drain it before you start pulling it out of the vehicle. There's 10 12mm headed bolts that hold the top cover on an M5R2. So we're going to take those 10 bolts out. And we'll be taking all 10 of them out. Once you get the top bolts out, you'll just take the top cover straight up. In the top cover, you'll see this shift forks. You'll have a gasket. Sometimes this gasket will fall out. You want to save that gasket. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the extension housing off. The extension housing is usually held on by 14mm bolts. On an M5R2, there's 9 bolts that hold the extension housing on. On an M5R1, there's 8. So we'll take those bolts out. Another thing that's probably a good idea is to take the speedometer out at this time. Speedometer is in the side. It's just held on with a 10mm bolt. On the later models, it'll be electronic, like this one, or in the earlier models, it'll have a speedometer gear on it. Then you want to take a chisel that's dull and a hammer, and you'll just hit the nut, and the nut will come loose. Once you've hit it a couple times, and I cheated, I took it off before, but it will come right off. But you have to kind of smack it. And you want to use a dull chisel, because if you use a sharp one, it'll just cut it. Now, you don't have to worry about it too much, because you can replace the nut when you go back together. The nuts are fairly inexpensive. Once you get the nut off, you'll have to take this bearing off. This bearing is pressed on, but it's a very light press. What you can do is just take your chisel again, put it in between the two, and just tap it back. If you put your synchronizer back in neutral, then your shaft will turn, and you can go around the bearing and take it off. Once you've knocked the bearing loose, you'll take it off the shaft, set it to the side. The next thing we're going to take off is the nut on the counter shaft, or the cluster. All right, this is a 32mm nut, and usually just an impact. If you don't have an impact, leave your transmission in the 2 gears, a 32mm wrench, and you can take it off. You take this off, then the next thing you take is the bearing off. This bearing has really no press. It just pulls right off. It sometimes is a little hard, but very, very rare, unless it's bad, and they don't go bad very often. The next thing we're going to take off is the nut here, or the bolt. It's a 17mm bolt on the side here. Once you get the bolt off, there'll be a washer on it. A lot of times the washer will stick to the case, so you know how to get the washer off where you don't lose it. Next thing, you take the reverse idler out. Take the retainer off the hub. It's a washer. Then there's 2 retainers that hold it on. These 2 retainers fit on the inside of this washer. The washer is actually a retainer for these to keep it inside. The shift fork and the hub should all slide off in one motion. Sometimes the shaft will hang a little bit. Just a little jerking will take it off, and it should slide right off. This gives you the fork, the slider, and the hub. We'll set these aside and we'll check them when we're going back together. The forks on the sides of the fork will have wear. If they have wear, such as this one does, right down through here, if it has wear here, that's where it actually pushes the slider. And as it pushes the slider, it will make it to where it doesn't move it in. The biggest problem is with the iron ones. These are aluminum, but the iron ones will wear real thin or wear completely out. I've even seen them where they'll go completely over the slider, not even shift the slider. On the one that we're building, the forks are fine. On the edges, there's no wear whatsoever. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the cluster. We're going to knock the bearings off the end. Once again, you can use a bearing splitter and a puller, or you can use a press to take these off. In the garage, you can knock them off. You want a sharp chisel for this, and you'll just get right behind the race, right in this area. You are using a chisel, so you want to make sure that you wear eye protection or whatever. And then you just knock it off. What I like to do is once I get it moved out just a little bit, then I usually use a puller to pull it the rest of the way off. Just a simple 2-jar puller. We'll pull it. Like I say, there's not very much press on it, so it pulls off real easily. Once it pulls off, you really don't need the race anymore. The back one, you want to use one of your dull chisels. You'll come down between the teeth. Like I say, you don't want to ever hit the teeth because the teeth are case hardened and they're very brittle. You just get in behind it and just drive it off. Once again, once you have the races off, you'll dispose of them. Like I say, normally you want to put a bearing kit in any transmission you take apart. Heat, wear, time takes the bearings. That's usually what wears out first. I want to thank you for watching this video. Hopefully we can come across the next one and show you on our AX5 and AX15 transmissions out of the Jeeps. If you want, you can call us at Southwest Gear if you have any questions. We're also available on the website, www.southwestgear.com. We also have a free toll-free number, 877-GEARS-FOR-YOU, or numerically, it's right behind me. And thank you very much again. We'll see you.